We are here from NextEra Energy to talk about Jira Service Management Blueprint for non-IT. We are so used to always being with IT, we thought we'll go a different route, non-IT. And the team is right here, as you see it from NextEra. We have our product owner, Alyson Lamb. Myself, no claps needed, thank you, Jashua Haque. And our influencer, Ponti. So what is NextEra? A little introduction. NextEra Energy is the world's largest utility company, and we're proud to be built and based in the USA. We are the world's largest generator, renewable energy from wind and sun, otherwise known as solar. We are recognized amongst the top 25 in the world, innovating according to the Fortune magazine. And we are here to talk to you about our story, how JSM, Jira Service Management, came to our life, right? How do we use it? What are the benefits? What are the key filters, rich filters, benefits that we use, and our best practices that suits us. It might not work out for you, but that's what worked for us, right? To kick it off and talk about our story, here's Ponti.
Hello. Well, let's go through memory lane because our story started in the beginning of 2020. So in 2020, we were all working from the same physical space. Donald Trump was our president at the time. The iPhone 11 was the iPhone of the year. Prince Harry and Meghan decided to quit the firm, quite sadly. And it was the first time that we really heard about coronavirus, right? So at the beginning, teams sat together on the same floor and in the same building. Collaboration happened in person. So if I needed anything from any of my team members, I would just turn around and ask them. Different departments communicated primarily through shared mailboxes. Employees request services would just go through the shared mailbox, would just send an email, and that would go to the vortex, and we would just pray that the email would get answered, or pray that we just get an answer at all. Then the pandemic hit, and we shifted to remote work, or work from home. Teams took their always in-office culture and processes and tried to replicate it via virtual manner. Of course, that didn't work at all. So during the pandemic, new virtual tools were given to us, and we really didn't know how to effectively use them all. So teams continued to communicate primarily through shared mailboxes, and the vortex of unanswered emails continued to get larger. Leaders were no longer able to effectively steer their teams due to them being so used to that way of communicating, which was face-to-face. Also, metrics were gathered manually and painstakingly difficult to gauge the workload. So I tend to do this hand motion when I'm freaking out or don't know what to do. Well, we had a lot of teams doing that same motion. They really didn't know what to do. So one department came to us and asked us if we can help them since we manage Jira. And of course, we had a solution, and here's where Josh is going to talk a little bit more about that.
So yeah, they came and we said, yes, of course we have something to help you out. It's called Jira Service Management. They're like, what is that? I'm like, well, we'll tell you a lot more about it, right? So over here in this room, can I see some hands if you know what Jira Service Management is today? Wow, I did not expect all those hands to go up. All right, keep them up, keep them up, keep them up. But do you know the benefits of Jira Service Management out of all the hands that are up? You do. But any one of you guys are using it for non-IT? All right, that's it, we're done. Let's go home. All right, but you know what? Even if you know, I hope that by the end of the session, you guys get to take back something new, right? If not, it'll jog your memory that what we're doing, maybe it'll add to your portfolio, maybe you'll get to learn something today. I hope. That is our hope, and that's why we're here. So we'll talk about the benefits, and to talk about the benefits, here's Ali.
So we have 4 big benefits that we experience using Jira Service Management, which is delivering value fast. We're able to get teams started in Jira Service Management quickly. As a result, they are able to deliver the great service to their customers. Then we make our work visible. We enrich their contextual information where teams are able to see what other teams are doing. Customers see their statuses in real time, and then their other team members are able to see what is happening in the queue live. Next, we have the simplifying of the process, which is eliminating the complexity. By doing that, we are requiring the teams to step through their business processes as we work with them to transition those processes into Jira Service Management, which eliminates the complexity occurrences naturally and unnecessary steps of the process that become apparent to them. And then lastly, we have measuring everything, which empowers the teams with data. We're able to provide reports, data to identify trends and make decisions. With that being said, we are focused more on the non-IT departments. So here we have a little over 90 service management in our company, which include accounting, agile, legal, supply chain, power generation, risk management, and workers onboarding, which is strictly to non-IT. And with that, we have over 600 service agents. There's a 68% reduction in service delivery cost. And with that 68% reduction in service delivery cost, some requests get deflected because customers are able to self-service their own issue through knowledge-based articles in Confluence. The remaining requests experience an improvement in handling time, reducing the time to take processes into a request, assisted by features of Jira Service Management with canned responses, needed approvals that are baked into the workflow, customer notifications, automatic issue routing, and automation for those tickets. Lastly, we have the customer productivity. 30 minutes per quarter has been improved with using the portal and the self-service capabilities. Now here, we're gonna talk about our blueprint. We start out with the challenge. We go into the next step of providing a demo, some homework that we require the departments to give us, build the service desk with them, train them, and then we hand it off and allow them to be the masters of their own destiny. So the first thing that we do is the first meeting, we ask them, what problems are we trying to solve? We want to come to a mutual understanding of their challenges that we need to bake into their service desk. Next, we want to give the demo of all the capabilities of JSM and get them thinking about the capabilities aligned to their business challenges. Next, we want to send them away with the homework where they meet internally to decide what data points are necessary for them to gather from the customer to finish out their requests in a timely manner.
Just like any strong foundation, you need homework. You need architectures to come in and draw it up for you. So homework part for us is very important because it not only helps us build, but it also gives us a tailored way of training the agents, because not everybody's going to have the same exact queues. Not everybody's going to have the same exact processes and workflows and approvals, right? So we want to teach everyone, hey, this is how you do it. Is it going to be perfect? No, of course not. That's why we are there to support them throughout, right? But we want to build something that is custom to our internal customer, right? The word custom has been used a lot, and I know why. everyone wants to use custom because wouldn't you like something customly made for you? Wouldn't you like something customly made for you? You can proudly say it's built for us and our business unit, right? So we take our homework very seriously at NextEra, right? So we can build it, customize it, give it to you, hand it to you in a platter, and train your agents the way you want them to work your service desk. After we train, we have Kathy who hands it off.
So we hand it off, lastly, to the service desk to the business team and making them masters of their own destiny. They have the ability to modify their request types, customer notification, SLAs, portal settings, and automation. As business evolves, which often happens, they are empowered to make changes to their own service environment. They will really only need help from us, from the system admins, if they need us to modify some of their custom fields or workflows. Now Ali is going to talk about how it goes with our customers.
So within the first meeting, as we said, we want to ask them what are their pain points. Then we want to talk to them about what are their overall priorities, can they describe their customer journey, and then do they have an approval process? Are there metrics that are being measured? Are there metrics that need to be measured? What do they want in their solution? What do they not want? These types of questions drive the conversation along with getting the customer to think about how they want their product to be built. Next, we're going to go through a demo, providing a template to them which talks about the different types of forms that they want to build, and then we're able to show them the magic behind the curtain. So on this screen, you're going to see the home page where we have all of our different types of service desks. In the top piece, you're able to search the type of service desk that you're looking for. So if you don't know exactly which service desk, you can type in a keyword and it'll populate whatever service desk seems to be the best fit. On this page, we're going to talk about the onboarding process. As we said, we gear our item towards the non-IT, and onboarding is a huge pain point for any company. It can take weeks to months to get someone that is running at a higher level. So this person is submitting a ticket to onboard a new member, and then you also have the different groups that we're gonna pinpoint, which is human resources, marketing, finance, operation management, and on the side panel, you have the different types of requests that you can submit. Now, there are two ways to set up your request types for a service desk. Here on the screen, we have them grouped, and then another way is to have them listed completely out, where you can have human resources onboard new employee, and then you can go into the marketing, finance, and operations management, and that'll require your customers to have to scroll through the page to find the right one that they need. On this slide, we're going to talk about the search feature that they have in each service desk. So if you're looking for maybe an article or what type of request that you're looking for, you can type in a keyword and it'll populate the information there. After selecting the request that needs to be submitted, a form will populate. Each form is customizable to meet the needs of the service desk. The one thing that you want to remember here is that you need to consider what needs to be reportable versus what's non-reportable. Reportable are going to be your custom fields. The non-reportable is just going to be generic information that you don't need metrics for later on. On any form, a field with an asterisk would be considered a required field, which means that the form cannot be submitted until that field is entered. We have all types of fields that you can populate into your form, which is multi-select, text, numeric, data, user picker fields. And then you also have the ability to provide screenshots, forms, anything of the attachment type that you need and that you can list as required or optional in your form. So we're gonna take a look at the agent view. The agent view is where the team members who are gonna work on the types of forms coming in, they can see it in their queue, which we have populated on the screen here. These queues are customized to meet the needs that the department is trying to fill. So we have new and unassigned, in progress, waiting on confirmation, and fully onboarded. So for example, let's say Kathy decides to go on vacation, and she has tons of tickets that are assigned to her. She may have a queue that is specific to her, and Joshua will be able to go into her queue and start handling her items that need to be addressed, especially if they have an SLA or an important notice attached to them. Tickets are able to be reassigned to someone on the team. This allows us to make sure that there is no ticket that slips through the cracks. So on the screen here, we're gonna show you what it looks like for a form that has already been submitted. You have the normal, typical Jira fields that populate on the screen, where you have your request type, then you have your priority, any labels that you may have. Here we have the name of the employee versus a nickname, the number of teams that they're gonna be on, and then who their hiring manager is. If there was any attachments, it would have been populated here. And then underneath, you have the original form that could have been submitted. And then during the onboarding process, we have a lot of subtasks that we need to fulfill. So we have those already baked into the system. So we're gonna jump to the Confluence piece. As a part of the onboarding process, departments want to tie in their values, documents, how-tos, and other helpful information. This is where we integrate the use of Confluence. Departments are able to set up the space specifically to them. This is where they provide their how-tos, quick hacks, and then a page that is specific to their team member. This page would be considered their checklist for their first day, their first week, maybe their month. And depending on who their hiring manager is, they can actually track the entire process as they're checking the items off their list. When the page opens up for our onboarding process, we provide an organizational chart, who their team members are gonna be, and then if they have an onboarding buddy. And then below, it'll give them a little notification letting them know that there is a way of tracking their progress, and then this page is live to everyone. We want to make sure that they're bookmarking the page and making those updates as they move along. Now we're going to switch a little bit of the gears and talk about the dashboards. So as we talked about before, custom fields drive dashboards. We want to make sure that your reportable fields are molding your dashboards the way that you want to see that metrics being recorded. So these metrics are being used in stand-ups, PI planning, quarterly reports, and anything that you're providing to your higher-ups. There's an option for static information, and then there's an option for filtering. Here we gear our dashboards more towards the filtering aspect. And an app that we found a lot of value in is the Rich Filters app, which is created by Kyoto Labs. And it allows us to build dynamic and interactive dashboards that provide a lot of value to our customers. We want to use our Rich Filter to help our teams track their SLAs, service management metrics, anything that can provide helpful information for them to move their items along faster. So if they see that there's a metric that is lingering on the bad side, they can click in to see what those tickets are, and then they can make those adjustments as they see fit. So on this screen, we have more of the different types of pieces that you can add into your dashboards. So you have like the line graph versus the SLA statistics, and then we kind of just move from there. If the lines are starting to extend a little bit too high, that means that we're taking a little too long to respond to these tickets or get the person onboarded faster.
So I started off by saying that our team, what works for us, best practices for us, right? So our team looked at 4 different categories that we wanted to share with you guys, right? And I don't know if you saw or paid attention to the form that we had for workers onboarding. It is standard for us to use pro forma forms. It looks pretty, and we like to look at things that are pretty, right? And it has multiple options. You can use drop down, you can use multi-select, date, text forms, right? So that's why we keep pro forma forms as standard for all our customers. And we have a few more that we want to talk to you about. The next one is templates, and that would be Kathy.
Thank you, Josh. So we use, secondly, templates. We have standard templates for issue types, workflows, screens, and fields, along with standard templates for dashboards. We use these templates as the foundation upon which we build new services desks. This gives us an advantage and a head start when compared from starting from scratch. And it also helps move at the speed that our business partners require.
Well, we're going to talk about something, it's a little bit important, system governance. Everything is not fun and games, right? We need to have some sort of governing bodies in our admin. Us, in NextEra, we do not give all of our users the ability to create custom fields. That can get away real quick and real messy. It also makes it messier when it comes to upgrading, right? We want to make sure we have enough governance where we get to keep our hands, not all the hands in the cookie jar. So that's something that we do at NextEra. Might work for you, might not work for you. Again, I want to keep emphasizing that this is our best practices that works for us, right? And then we have, I believe it's Ali.
So lastly, we want to talk about the service desk owner community practice. What we want to do is empower these groups to have their own best practices within the realm. They might find something quick and easy to use that works best for them, and it might work for another department. So what we want to do is have regular meetings, allow them to, have conversations, talk about their maintenances and what works best for them. And then it alleviates a lot of the pressure on our team when they take everything into their own hands.
So making the most of our Atlassian investment. There are 3 Atlassian services that we have found to be significant value to our team. The first one is Atlassian University. Atlassian University has a wealth of prepackaged training. Some of them are free, some of the other ones you need to pay for them. But we use them to supplement and reinforce the training that we give to our agents. We also use Atlassian University internally to further our knowledge and also gain certifications. Second, we have our TAM. Our account manager helps us navigate and find solutions that are a little bit more complex. It also helps us refine our system governance, and it's also helping us with our migration to the Atlassian Cloud Enterprise. Last but not least is Premier Support. We use Premier Support for more technical issues.
So what's next for us? Looking down the road, 2024, we're looking to upgrade our instance to the Atlassian Enterprise Cloud. For all the obvious reasons, but the ones that stick out the most to us are the advanced security and controls that add an extra layer of protection. With that, there's unlimited instances, which means that we can grow without compromising the performance and reliability of our instance. The compliance portion, which allows us to stay ahead of the curve, no more nightly or weekly, changes, make sure that we're staying compliant, and then we are avoiding all of the vulnerabilities that may be out there. It allows us to have a one-stop shop advanced audits, automation, and provisioning access, two-factor. Two-factor is a huge deal. The ability to have the external users with security. And then my favorite is the analytics, because you have more data that is built in and it can drive more information down the road for you. One of the biggest benefits that we plan to take advantage by moving to the cloud is the ability to more deeply integrate with other SaaS offerings, such as GitHub, Teams, and ServiceNow. With ServiceNow, we are currently using it for our ITSM tool. As we explained, JSM is strictly non-IT, and it is our business tool. Together, these two tools comprise the bulk of our enterprise service delivery, and right now they do not talk to each other. It's kind of like having two teenagers that are mad at each other, but down the road they might, like each other again. As you imagine, this creates a significant swiveling chair for our customers. Our ultimate goal is to have a rule-based engine that automates the transfer and synchronization of the issues between the two tools. We'd love to get to a point where the users of both ServiceNow and Jira are able to stay in Jira to enter all of their work.
So we started off by saying, I hope you get to learn something, and I hope you guys did. Should we do hands again? I got 1, 2. Okay, not as many as last time, but that's all right. We'll take it. I hope our story did make sense to you guys, how Jira Service Management came into our lives, the benefits that we use at NextEra, the filters on the dashboard that we do. What I do want you guys to take back is you see the three of us here, our customers get this bundle as with Jira Service Management, Confluence, and Rich Dashboards. So we kind of come in as a bundle, just like our Atlassian products to our customers, right? And you got to learn about our best practices. Now, if you're intrigued and you like what you see, you're more than welcome to look at us at jobs.nextera.com. Before we get to the Q&A, because we're almost at the end, right? We would like to thank Atlassian and NextEra for making this happen. But most of all, we want to thank you guys for being here and sticking around and listening to all this information we just gave you in the last 30 minutes. I feel like you guys just drank through a fire hose, right? It was information overload. And I hope you held on to your questions and you fired it right back at us right now. So go for it. Oh. I take all the credit. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
My question actually is regarding about your experience with custom fields and custom workflows for each of the different business departments.
Yep.
So is there any kind of tip or, I guess, knowledge that whenever you're creating something that's custom, so let's say, because like you said earlier, every business wants to have their stuff customized. Mm-hmm. But who is the stopgap for saying, hey, you don't need that status at the moment because you have other statuses that are the same? Or we already have custom fields for this that does exactly what you need.
You're looking at them. We're the stopgap. Yep. No, seriously, when they come to us, right, we kind of coach them. We don't say, no, you don't need it, right? We kind of coach them by asking questions, like our homework session that we do. We ask a ton of questions. We gather information from them, right? We build a relationship with them, and we say, if you need this custom field, we have an existing one that will be helpful to you. Let me show you how, right? And we coach them through the whole process. We show them mock dashboards. We show them a lot of existing custom field that does work for them, right? Because with Performa, you have a custom field, but that's not the name that is going to show up on the customer view. You can name whatever custom field you want, right? So we are the gap that actually stops it. That's why we said we are the admins, and we have almost like a duty that we need to coach them through it, because our customers don't know what goes on in the back end. So it's our responsibility to coach them through that.
The second question that
Yes.
I have also is, by giving the business the power in order to work on their projects, what are some of the concerns as admins that you would have by giving them that power? Because in our business, we have a lot of people that are actually power users, but they are actually doing a lot more to create more problems for the environment. So, so we were actually thinking about pulling that away from them. But in your experience, how can you give us a little bit more insight on what kind of that experience is?
So with, as you said, businesses, they all like to get hands-on experience, and then they start, getting into it and making the changes. A lot of times they'll have a million questions for us and then think that they're able to make those changes on their own. What we usually tell them within the first 6 months, just create a call with us. We'll watch what you're doing, and then make sure that you're understanding what type of changes you're making to the form. Because what will happen is they make a change, it's not reversible. And what we want to make sure is that they understand that level of complexity, just because down the road they might make these changes, and then what happened to Josh was, he made all these forms, and then the business said, we want to change all of this. 2 to 3 weeks later, no, we want it all back. And we had to recreate everything from scratch.
So I like to use me as a father, right? That example at all times. You give your children enough, right, room where they can make the mistakes, and you can show them these are the mistakes and these are the consequences you're going to face, right? So our customers, we give them enough access so they could do not enough damage where it's not reversible completely. Now, we do let them know if you delete the form, bye-bye. So keep a copy of it before you make an actual edit of the form. Make copies of it, play around with it. Don't mess with the actual thing that's live, right? So again, it's all up to us how you want to coach your customer, how you want to set that stage up for them. So I feel like the ownership is always on us, but we like to give a little bit back to them so that they feel like they're in control. I hope that answers.
And then you also have the different types of levels as well. You have the project admin of the service desk who is able to make all these changes. Now your service agents, they're not allowed to make those changes. No. It has to go strictly through that. So when you're having these types of meetings with your business, I would tell them to just make 2 people the project admins and leave it at that, because once you have too many hands in the cookie jar, things get messed up.
Great questions, by the way. Looks like you're going to be using it very soon. Any other questions?
We got one.
Yes. Oh, wait. I don't know who went first. I was looking over here, but then this one. So we'll come back to you. We'll go over here since you're there.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just...
Let me just take her question, then we come back to you. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Yeah, this is really great. We actually do use JSM for non-IT teams currently, but it's a little bit of everything's a pet. And so I was really curious, you talked about having templates that you walk different, business units through. I'm curious kind of what the process was to maybe develop those or figure out what are some good basic templates that are applicable enough. Or do you kind of create a template based on the first conversation, the challenges? Like how different is each JSM project from the other ones? Like where's your standardization versus customization? Because that's where we are with the journey.
Right.
We're using it, but now it's a little bit of a mess, so we've got to standardize.
So when we create the actual project, that's where we have the template, right? It's your workflow, standard queues. That's what we keep as a template, as a building interface, right? You might say, you know what, I'm okay with the standard everything, but can we build on top of that? Sure we can, right? We can put custom screens, custom workflows. So we start with that base layer, and we add flavors on top of it as we go. So that really helps us out without building a project all the way from scratch all over again. So we keep a base flavor just to go with any customer that comes in. And then, Ali jumps in, puts the email addresses on, but we keep it again standard with the name that we pick for the project at so-and-so, right? Kathy will come in and create the Confluence page, add it together. At the end, again, Ali will jump in, get the dashboards ready. So these templates are already set in place, so everything goes in. Is all the customers going to be the same? Absolutely not. But that's the base template that we have, yeah.
And then over time with your different businesses, you'll start to see similar items, and then you can kind of build an additional template to work off of as well.
I'm curious what roles you have on your governance committee or your governance board. Who do you involve in that process?
Oh boy, I don't think we have any specific roles in the governance. We just govern it as we go, and it's basically the team you're looking at. This is the team.
Do you involve the business in that process as well?
Not necessarily. We again, it goes back to the question that the other gentleman had. We take the homework in, right? And we kind of decide, or as a team, so our team lead is Christopher Heritage, our other team member is Caesar, and we have DevOps. We sometimes discuss amongst ourselves, do we need to create a custom field for this person, or can we reuse it? Yes, we can reuse it. Okay. Then we go back to the customer. You know what? You don't really need it, and these are the reasons why. So the governance team is right here, plus a few others, right? And we'll discuss it. And sometimes they're very adamant. I need my custom field. All right, fine. We'll give you one. There's one. That's fine. Here you go. You can have one, if that makes you feel better.
And also with the custom fields and everything like that, down the road, if we implement it for those teams and then they decide down the road that they don't need them anymore, we just remove it from their instance.
Yep.
And then we can, provide a cleanup of our system at the year end that we normally do, and just, confirm that they're no longer using it, and then we clean up our system and provide the governance that we need.
Hello.
Hi.
From what I understand, Service Management, Atlassian offers some pre-baked templates for the various types of projects you might open in Service Management. Like they have a customer service template, and I think they have an onboarding project template. Did you guys leverage any of that?
Not really, no.
No, we didn't. No.
Because our groups are so, they have their specific needs. And with the items that Atlassian has provided for those templates, they look great, and it just didn't fit our needs at the time. I mean, down the road, we may use some of those templates. It just depends on what you're looking to build for that different team.
And I believe you're referring to the Performa templates that comes in there. The onboarding templates that are baked into Performa, I believe. That already has all the questionnaire built in, right? Okay.
Or maybe the project templates. The project templates to set up the portal, so we have like HR.
Yep.
Marketing, yep.
Yeah, it didn't work out for us, yeah. We just kept it pretty vanilla. Great questions. If you think about questions that might come up later, we have our QR codes, we're fancy. Please reach out to us. We have all our information there.
Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and like. I'm joking.
Spoken like a true influencer. Thank you, guys.